कृपा मोहि नाम देओ नानक दाई सीता हरे कृपा मोहि नाम देओ नानक दाई सीता हरे कृपा मोहि नाम देओ नानक दाई सीता हरे कृपा मोहि नाम देओ नानक दाई सीता सुनो मेरे मीता सुनो मेरे मीता सुनो मेरे मीता सुनो मेरे मीता राजी संगति Sadhguru Pasha ji has blessed us with Hukum Namaskar. Mehimaa Sadhhoo Sangh ki Sunahu Meethaa Mail Khoi Kot Aghar Nirmal Bhai ji ka Laul Malla Panjwa Than Satguru Shri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib ji Maharaj Gursikh di Sangat de Vichon ki milda hai? What do you get by doing Sangat of a Gursikh? What do you get by doing Sangat of a Sadhu, someone who's walking upon this path? I just want to put one thing in front of you. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, twice in Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji's body, once in Death's Nikivar, and the second time in Sanskrit Slok. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, the fire inside you which cannot be put out by sitting in front of the moon. In India, they used to think if you sat in front of the moon, it would give you coolness inside. The second example Sadhguru Pasha ji gives is if you spread sandalwood all over your body. The third example Sadhguru ji gives is if you live in the coldest place on earth. Sadhguru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, despite doing all three of these things, nothing can put out the fire inside. In Sanskrit Slok, Sri Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj says, Pyarya, if you want the fire to be put out inside, if you want the fire which is burning you day in day out to be put out, go and sit next to a Gursikh de kol bende hoya andar jira thanda thar ho janda. Someone who has that thanda harnao inside, when you sit in the sangat of those Gursikhs. And I want to say one thing to you. We very easily like to judge people by their cover. But you don't know how a Gursikh is hiding his or her avastha. And I just want to put one story in front of you and then do Samadhi there. In my life I found someone very inspirational, Professor Puran Singh. And I want to tell you, man chetan mein kagar kar lo. Try and focus as much as you can. I know that you're tired. Believe me, I'm tired. I think I'm the most tired I've ever been. So, Professor Puran Singh, a great Gursikh. When Professor Puran Singh was young, he was born into a Gursikh household. In that Gursikh house, his mother and father encouraged him to take Amrit at a very young age. When he was only 7 or 8 years old, he'd taken Amrit. Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Sache Padshah Akal Purkh Vaheguru blessed him. Mehimaa Sadhhoo Sangh ki, Pingul Parbat Par Pari, Khal Chatar Bikita, Andale Tirpavan Suja, and especially Mail Khoi. Dirt goes away sitting in the Sangha. Mail Khoi, Kot Aghare, those pap, Ag means those paap which cannot be forgiven, those sins which cannot be forgiven anywhere. Sitting in the Sangat of Gursikhs, even they are forgiven. Mal koi kot ag hare nirmal pehchita. I want to give you one example. Professor Puran Singh, when he was young, very intelligent young child, so intelligent in fact that he got a sponsorship to go to Japan and study there. Professor Puran Singh could speak German, Hindi, Urdu, Punjabi, French, Japanese, and I think even Chinese. When he went, young Puran Singh went to Japan into university. He was very, oda dil bada komal si. Inside, he was very pliable. When he went to Japan, he looked around him at the Buddhist religion. He looked at the statues of Buddha and he saw the peace upon the face of the statues. And he was so influenced that one day he decided to give up his Sikhi and take on the life as a Buddhist. So this was the first change in Puran Singh's life. He became a Buddhist in the Sangha. It shows you the effect that the world can have upon you. A young Amritdhari Gursikh leaves Punjab, goes to Japan, getting in the Sangha of those around him who are Buddhists. All of a sudden what happens? He joins them. This was the time when Puran Singh became a Patit, cut his gaze and joined the Buddhist religion. A small time after this, Swami Ram Tirath was traveling. And Swami Ram Tirath came to Japan. When Swami Ram Tirath came to Japan, Puran Singh did his Sangat. And when he did his Sangat, he took off the clothes of a Buddhist and then he put on the clothes of a Hindu saint, of a sannyasi. The pink robes, the salmon pink robes, the orangey pink robes of a sannyasi. Puran Singh completely cut every rom upon his head, every hair upon his head, and decided to follow Swami Ram. And he renamed Puran Singh as Swami Puran. This young child, who had grown up in an Amritdhari household, now was returning back to his home, dressed in pink clothes of a Hindu saint, his head completely shaved, and his mother couldn't take what she saw before her. Fair, he was so intelligent. In 1911 there was a Sikh educational conference. And in this Sikh educational conference, which was going to be held at Lahore at that time by the Singh Sabha, they called Swami Puran. They didn't outcast him, they called him. They said to Swami Puran, we want you to give a lecture about agriculture. Swami Puran prepared his notes. He wrote out a big essay, which he was going to say on stage. And he was ready. But in their conference, unlike the conferences of today, in their conference, the Singh Sabha Singhs had said, anyone who wants to come to this conference must sit first in the Sangat, listen to Kirtan, listen to the Hukamnama, and then deliver their speech. Not just come into the conference, but anyone who wants to come to the conference must sit in the Diwan, must listen to the Kirtan, must listen to the Hukamnama. Swami Puran, dressed in his robes, with a rumal tied upon his head, comes and sits. When he sits down, and he's sitting there, who comes upon the stage, opens his Vaja? Bhai Hira Singh Ragi. Bhai Hira Singh Ragi was so imbued in Kirtan that Muslims would lock their children indoors and would say, you can't go outside, Hira Singh is doing Kirtan. If the voice of Hira Singh falls into your ears, you'll become a Sikh of Guru Nanak. That is the power. It's not Atkatani, it's not beyond words. This is written down in our history, Hira Singh Ragi. Only 80 years from today, 80 or 90 years ago, from these days, 100 years maybe, near about that time. And I was reading a book printed by the Dharam Prachar Committee about Bhai Hira Singh. It's called Pramukh Sikh Shikshiyata. And in that book it says, Bhai Hira Singh was not a Kirtani. Bhai Hira Singh was Kirtan. Bhai Hira Singh used to sit in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj and he'd sing Kirtan for hours upon end. Someone like me came and said to Hira Singh, what are you doing? There's no Sangat, there's no one listening to you. Who are you singing Kirtan to? Bhai Hira Singh used to laugh and say, "Main Kirtan de Date nu Kirtan suna raha hu. I'm singing Kirtan to the Lord, to the Akal Purkh, to the one who's gifted me with Kirtan. Main Kirtan de Date nu Kirtan suna raha hu." That is what Bhai Hira Singh used to say. Imagine the amount of love inside that Gursikh. Bhai Sahib Rantir Singh, they used to say, Kirtan sada ishq hai, te ishq da koi mol nahi pa sakda. Kirtan is my love. Kirtan is my life. And no one could put a price or put a value upon Kirtan. Bhai Hira Singh Ragi, when he's sitting upon the stage, opens his vajja, and I want to say to you one thing. An arrow, if it's fired by someone like me whose arms are weak, it might go a few meters. But when someone who has practiced, when someone whose arms are strong picks up an arrow, that same arrow can rip through countless chests. Gurbani is an arrow. When someone like me says it has no effect, because I don't have that in my arms. But when Bhai Hira Singh Ragi used to sing Kirtan, it used to rip through the hearts of countless people. Countless people, Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, whoever it was. And whenever Bhai Hira Singh used to do Kirtan inside Harmandir Sahib, this is the time before speakers. The whole Parikrama would be filled just so that you could hear one moment of Bhai Hira Singh's Kirtan. And when Bhai Hira Singh opened his vajja, Bhai Hira Singh started singing. Swami Purn sitting in the Sangat. As Swami Purn is sitting there, as Bhai Hira Singh is singing Kirtan, Swami Purn's eyes start to fill up with tears. Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sang ki suno mere Meethaa, mail koi kot agare nirmal pehchita. When Bhai Hira Singh's doing Kirtan, his voice is rising up to the heavens. And on the other side, Swami Purn's tears are rising down, are falling down upon the paper. The black akkars, the black letters which he had written upon the essay, they were being washed away with his tears. And it wasn't as if just the black letters were being washed away. Those black actions, those sins which had taken him away from the Guru, they were being washed away as well. Swami Purna was sitting there, tears running down his eyes, listening to Bhai Hira Singh Ragi. He couldn't stop crying. As the tears rolled down his eyes, tears upon tears, Bhai Hira Singh finished Kirtan. They said, now is the time for Swami Purna to come up. When Swami Purna came up, he didn't look at his paper about agriculture. He didn't talk about what he was meant to. Swami Purna put his hands together. He said, Guru Nanak Sahib Bakshlo. Guru Nanak Sahib Bakshlo. Guru Nanak, forgive me. Guru Nanak Sahib Bakshlo. Guru Nanak di Sangat menu Bakshlo. The effect of Bhai Hira Singh Ragi's Kirtan on Swami Purna. Swami Purna for 1 hour straight was standing upon the stage, tears running down his eyes, saying, Sad Sangat ji menu Bakshlo, main Guru to dur ho gaya. Forgive me, I've gone far from the Guru. Forgive me, I've strayed from the Guru. Tears rolling down his cheeks. And at that moment, when his time finished, there was a great Gurmukh upon the stage. A Gurmukh whose light is with us even today. Dr. Bhai Saadhhoo Singh. Dr. Bhai Saadhhoo Singh was standing upon the stage, and the secretary got hold of Swami Purna's hand. And as Swami Purna's eyes were full of tears, he got Swami Purna's hand and he put it in the hand of Bhai Veer Singh. Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sang ki suno mere Meethaa, mail koi kot aghare nirmal pehchita, sitting next to a Gurmukh. What happens? When Swami Purna's hand was put into the hand of Bhai Veer Singh, Bhai Veer Singh pressed Swami Purna against his chest. He put his hand upon Swami Purna's head. There were no cares there. Bhai Veer Singh said one word. He said one line. He said, Puran. He said, Inne komal kesanu lohe di kanchi nal katna. These beautiful, soft, beautiful case the Guru has given to you. Do you cut these with scissors made out of metal? As soon as Bhai Veer Singh said this, Swami Purna fell at Bhai Veer Singh's feet. Tears running down his eyes, grabbing Bhai Veer Singh's feet. And he said, Bhai Sahib, menu hone dastar sajao. Tie a turban upon my head right now. 6 hours, Bhai Veer Singh and Swami Purna sat down together that day. Swami Purna, tears running down his eyes, Bhai Veer Singh took a parna, took a piece of cloth, and on that day in 1911, tied the turban back upon Swami Puran's head. Mail koi, kot aghare, nirmal pahe chita. Mail koi, all of the sins go. Kot aghare, all of the sins are forgiven. Nirmal pahe chita, they are purified. Swami Puran gets hold of Bhai Veer Singh's feet. He says, Menu vishodo na, don't let me go. If you've got hold of my arm, don't let me go. Bhai Veer Singh is about to back away. Swami Puran says, don't let me go. After 6 hours of clinging to Bhai Veer Singh, Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sangh says, don't let me go, Bhai Sahib, don't let me go. And for 6 months after that, Swami Puran lived in the house of Dr. Bhai Veer Singh. Every day Bhai Veer Singh would get Swami Puran up, do Naam Abhyas, do Nitnem, give him the kakars themselves. And Swami Puran was saying to Bhai Veer Singh, Manu Amrit Shikao. Bhai Veer Singh said no. First Buddhism, then Hinduism. Before you want to take Amrit, make that panda inside. Make the place for this Amrit to stick inside you. Swami Puran goes back to his house, but he's no longer called Swami Puran, he's trying to be called Puran Singh. When he goes back after 6 months of the Sangat of a Gursik, of a Puran Gursik, Dr. Bhai Veer Singh, when he goes back home, he lays awake at night. Amrit di pyas, jinnu ko lagi pyas. Let's beg Guru Sahib Ji for that pyas. Swami Puran is awake at night. When he's awake at night, he turns to one side. He turns to the other side. All his night is spent like this. And all of a sudden, one night after many months, Swami Puran picks up a pen. He picks up some paper. And he writes on this paper. He says, Where Babal? Babal is what a young girl calls her father. And Babal is such a beautiful word. For those of you who may not understand, Babal is that word. When a daughter is about to leave her father's house for her father, she uses the word Babal. And the word Babal has so much love inside it. At that moment, Swami Puran said, Where Babal? Beti soi soi chat jagdi. Babal, he used to write for Bhai Veer Singh. Where Babal? Beti soi soi chat jagdi. Apne Babal pason kuch mangdi. Swami Puran says, Where Babal? Oh my father, oh Gurmukh Bhai Veer Singh. Beti soi soi chat jagdi. Your daughter can't sleep at night. Swami Puran couldn't sleep. He couldn't eat. Tears running down his eyes day and night. Man neer vahe vahe challe jiyo. That was the way of life of Swami Puran. And he said, Where Babal? Beti soi soi chat jagdi. I can't sleep at night. I can't eat. I can't live. Apne Babal paso kuch mangdi. I'm begging my father for something. Bhai Veer Singh, I'm begging you. Swami Puran says, Bhai Sahib, please, I'm begging you. Where Babal? Beti soi soi chat jagdi. Apne Babal paso kuch mangdi. Mera dada ji udayo tawla. Mera kajr chahi ve Babala. Mera dada ji udayo tawla. My mind cannot live without Amrit. My body cannot live without Amrit. Mera kajr chahi ve Babala. When is the day when I'll be wedded to Guru Gobind Singh? When is the day of my marriage? When is the day of my Amrit Sanchar? He wrote this letter and he sent it to Dr. Bhai Veer Singh. When Bhai Veer Singh read this letter, Bhai Veer Singh smiled. Bhai Veer Singh said, Panda tayar ho gaya. The Panda is ready. Bhai Veer Singh calls Swami Puran to his house. Bhai Veer Singh goes into the Panch Pyare himself, gets the Amarta Bata tayar, and shikars Amrit to Swami Puran. And on that day, Swami Puran becomes Professor Puran Singh. Professor Puran Singh, 1912 comes the next year. And I always say to you, when you're listening to Katha Kahaniya, don't think, oh, 1912, 300 years, if you focus now, Satguru Ji has given us the gift of Surat. Surat can take us on many travels. You're sitting here now, you might have gone back to Toronto 5 times in the Kirtan. Kenta lagda janu na, manu nahi lagda kenta, manu mente hi lagda. Shala marda janda te shala marda hunda. Doesn't need a visa, doesn't need a passport, doesn't need a stamp. It jumps. The same way your mind jumps for Maya, Oh Sikho, when is your mind going to jump into the Guru's history? Into the history of these Gursikhs? See it in your mind's eye. See Swami Puran. He becomes Professor Puran Singh. 1912 comes. The next Sikh educational conference is held in Sialkot. And in that conference, Swami Puran turns up. Listen to this as carefully as you can. Swami Puran gets to Sialkot. When he gets there, to the conference, this year Swami Puran is Professor Puran Singh. This year there's no pink clothes of a Hindu saint. This year there's a white dastar. There's a white kurta pajama. There's a black gatra shining. There's a glow upon Swami Puran's face. He's become Professor Puran Singh. This year he's not come to talk about farming. This year Professor Puran Singh has written an essay about Jabsa. Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sangh ki. Sunahu mere Meethaa. This year Professor Puran Singh has come to talk about Jabsa. Look at the transformation. Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sangh. When he gets on stage, there's people like me sitting there. They say, oh, Puran, पिछले साल तो तू भगवे कपड़े पाए सी, पिछले साल मौन कौन सी? Last year you were dressed in pink. Last year your head was shaved. What happened to you? Tenu ki ho gaya? And at that moment, Professor Puran Singh puts his arm towards Dr. Bhai Singh and he says something. This is what he sings. At that moment, this is what he sings. Now, so listen with your concentration. Professor Puran Singh, his eyes are intoxicated with Naam, his cheeks are glowing red. He points towards Dr. Bhai Singh and he says, Vahe Guru Chambe di Booty Mere man vich Guru Mukh Lai Vahe Guru Chambe di Booty Mere man vich Guru Mukh Lai Andar booty Mushk machaya Jad fullan vich aayi Abe aat da paani milya Nair arsh to aayi Professor Puran Singh says, when he's singing on stage, and I'll sing it again, Vahe Guru Chambe di Booty Mere man vich Guru Mukh Lai This is a way, it's called a rabat or rubai. It's a way Sufis sing. In a minute, Professor Puran Singh says, Vaheguru Chambe di Booty. The jasmine flower of God's name, where did it come from inside me? Where do you say this bana came from? Mere man vich Gurmukh Lai hu. Bhai Veer Singh implanted it inside me. Vaheguru Chambe di Booty Mere man vich Gurmukh Lai hu. If you don't know anything else, I'm sure you can know the who. So you can sing with me. Don't look at me like goldfish. Join in. You want to see Professor Puran Singh singing. Vaheguru Chambe di Booty. This jasmine flower of God's name, Bhai Veer Singh implanted inside me. Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sangh ki Sunahu mere Meethaa. Then he said, Andar booty mushk machaya Jad fullan vich aayi think you were going who? Andar booty mushk machaya jad fullan vich aayi. Don't feel silly. Ek kisi Gurmukh di jumaan to aaya. When a Gurmukh sings something, it has power. Let's sing it together. Andar booty mushk machaya jad fullan vich aayi. Andar booty mushk machaya. He said, inside me now, every hair on my body has got this fragrance of Vaheguru Vaheguru. Jad fullan vich aayi. Then what does he say? Aabe hayat da pani milya nahr arsh to aayi. Aabe hayat da pani milya. He said, what is the water which has made this plant nourish? Aabe hayat, amrit. When I got amrit, aabe hayat da pani milya nahr arsh to aayi. This river has come from God's house. Then Professor Pooran Singh's eyes filled up with tears, grabbed hold of Bhai Veer Singh's charan, and on stage he said, Jog jog jeeve mera Gurmukh babal. Thoda jana ekagrata karo, close your eyes, see the scene. Don't look at me, don't look at anything else, see the scene. This white dastar, this beautiful black dada touching the feet of Bhai Veer Singh, and he's saying, Jog jog jeeve mera Gurmukh babal jinhe booty lai hu. Jog jog jeeve mera Gurmukh babal. May my Gurmukh babal, may Dr. Bhai Veer Singh, may his words live forever. Jinhe booty lai hu. He is the one who implanted this inside me. प्यारे हो, मेहिमा साधु संग की सुनो मेरी मीता, मैल खोई कोट आघरे निर्मल पहचीता. The sangat of a Gursikh has that coloring. Sitting next to a Gursikh puts out the inside fires. It takes away your mal, your dirt. It takes away your sins and it purifies you inside. Let's do ardas. Sache Padshah, please, Sanu Kirpa Baksho. I know my voice sounds horrible. I've been singing and shouting and doing katha and randomly shouting as I walk along at many different people for the last 4 or 5 days. You know who you are. Yeah? So forgive me. I know my voice isn't the best at the best of times. It's probably the worst at the best of times, and now it's very bad as well. But I wanted to share with you one of the most inspirational stories of my life. Professor Pooran Singh. Read the works of Professor Pooran Singh. You know what? You're Canadian, I'll tell you one thing. Pooh Bear te Piglet dove baithe si ek din. Hasde ho tusi? Bada gyan hai Pooh Bear dekho. Pooh Bear and Piglet were sitting down one day. Sachi gal, I'm telling you from the book. Pooh Bear and Piglet were sitting down one day. From the book. Not my own story. This is in the book. It's a Canadian book. So I think, it will be good for you. Ready? So, in that book, Pooh Bear says to Piglet. No, Piglet says to Pooh Bear. Pooh Bear is the Siana one. Piglet says, how do you spell love? Piglet says, how is love spelled? Pooh Bear says, love is not spelled, it's felt. Kidhi kya andi gala? Jin prem kiyo, tinhi prabh payo. Galla wale hain kanere. Galla kare kaneriyan khasm na paye sa. We can sit and talk, but Sikhi, Professor Pooran Singh writes, he said Sikhi is not following, Sikhi is feeling. Love is not spelled, love is felt. Ardas kariye Sache Padshah, give us sangat of those Gursikhs, jehde sade andar di jyot nu jaga sakde. Give us sangat of that Sat Sangat forever and forever that can keep bringing us back to life. So I just want to sing the Shabad from Gurbani again. And I've got the request which is nearly put in front of me on most stages. So I'll sing that after we sing the Shabad. Let's sing Mehimaa Saadhhoo Sangeet all together. And then I'll sing that one Shabad and then we'll do Samapti. Sare jane. And in your mind, see Professor Puran Singh next to Dr. Bhai Singh. I had a beautiful picture on my laptop, I haven't got time to show you, where Professor Puran Singh is sitting holding the knees of Bhai Singh. I keep it on my laptop. When I get depressed, I look at that photo. And I sit there and I sing that Vaheguru Chambe Di Booty. Sachi. I look at that photo and I sing that, and I see love which cannot be spelt. Only love that can be felt. So let's try and feel that love. Appa Raal mil ke gaiye Guru da shabad, wo Guru ji gave us his hukamnama. Saadhhoo sang ki suno mere Meethaa. Sare suno mere Meethaa. Close your eyes. Focus on Professor Puran Singh and Bhai Singh. Mehimaa